All right, guys, let's get right into it. Stock market technical analysis. We're looking for profitable trade ideas. I'm going to jump right into the general markets. We'll look at a couple individual trade ideas I've talked about, give you guys an update on that. Probably look at gold, oil, and we'll wrap up after that, guys. As I'm going along, if you're finding value in how I'm constructing these trade ideas, what I'm pointing out, and you're interested in learning this for a skill set, being able to really find your own high probability trades, check out my course. It's very affordable. I priced it very affordable. It's got all the lessons that I'm pretty much putting together on a daily basis, broken down into individual courses. And then at the end, I've got a checklist that I put out that really helps you kind of check everything when you're evaluating a trade setup. So that is in the description below if you're interested. I think there's a lot of value there. Additionally, if you want to join my private member group, once again, very affordable. I'm just charging $5 a month. It's basically the cheapest price I can charge on YouTube for the most part. $5 a month, and I'm giving you guys additional market insights and trade ideas. It's a good way for me to communicate a little more actively with the members. I can post things in the member section, and they can see that stuff a lot more frequently and actively versus waiting for these videos to come out. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join up, try it out for a month, see how it's going. If I put you on a profitable trade idea, give it another month, check it out. I don't think you have much to lose. What do you have to lose? $5-10? Okay. Link in the description on that one as well. If you're in an iPhone, you have to go into the description to look at that. All right, triple Qs, guys. So I don't have a whole lot. If I go down to the daily, we're still in this range right here. Let me kind of get rid of this little line. You can see on the daily chart, still we're kind of range bound. We're chopping around, and there's no real indication on where we're going to go in the short term. So I think there's the potential for a rally right in the area where we're at. I'll show you guys why I think that. But again, we could break down. So when I don't have a clear idea of where it's going to go because the charts don't necessarily tell me, I prefer to keep my trades a little smaller, a little lighter. That's how I mitigate some of that risk. Okay, when you have a good idea where something's going, maybe you have a larger position. When you're not as clear, smaller position mitigates some of that risk. And this is a game of risk mitigation. So get that, understand that. On triple Qs, we have nothing really going on the momentum indicators. We do have, if I roll down to the hourly chart, we have this potential trend line support. This is coming off of the November 4th area. You got a tag here, and now maybe a third. So a potential trend line to watch. We also have, there's some negative divergence showing up on the hourly. It's not that obvious because it's just showing up. But to see it, I can flip over to the Qs. If we hold this trend line, and this does hold as an uptrend line, we could rally probably back up to this 284.50 area, and potentially all the way up here to 291.70. All right, those are some areas I'd be looking for. On the Nasdaq futures NQ, it's a little more obvious on this chart of a potential for a bounce. You've got this downtrend line right here, so we're walking down, and you can see the momentum, clear bullish divergence right now. All right, so we've got bullish momentum. Now it's not fully confirmed. If we continue lower, we're going to burn through it, but we start to turn up and confirm that, then this price action in this area is going to be a divergent low, which sets us up for a likelihood of a bounce. Where do we bounce to? Well, for now, I'm probably only willing to say we're going to bounce to the top of this channel right here. And that's about, I don't know, 11,640 or something like that. Depends on when we would get there. But that's kind of all I'm looking for in the short term. And then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, let's get into some of the individual trade ideas. Again, I've already been talking to the private member group this morning about some of this stuff. So if you're not, if you want to get a little bit more timely updates, I encourage you to join that. First Solar, FSLR. So on this one, a couple things. We got to go down to the short time frame because at the end of the day, if you're going to get a trending trade, it always starts small and works in, starts on the smaller time frames and then works its way out from there. So on the hourly chart, you've got this bearish rising wedge. We've really been compressing in this wedge for a while. We're starting to break down, all right? So I would say as of now, as long as we don't get some sort of end of the day, recovery, then we can call this a breakdown on this shorter term time frame. All right. Also on the hourly, we did have negative divergence. Let me kind of clean this up and I'll show you. Here's the negative divergence. See the momentum. All right. So we continue to drift higher in price. Momentum was not able to, make a new high, and it's trending down on both momentum indicators. And we now have a breakdown. So, there's 2 hours left in the trading day. They might do a stick save. This thing loves to kind of do that, where they just pop it up and recover. So I wouldn't just load the boat on shorts, in my opinion. But we'll see how this closes out the day. This is, they can rally it back up, then it's a stick save. And if they do that, they're probably going to run it back up to make a new high within this wedge. Okay, so that's something to take note of. If they can't, and we do hold this as a breakdown, then it's likely we're going to continue lower. And for that, we need to go to the daily time frame. So on the daily, we have, this is coming off the, July 15th, really when First Solar started its most recent uptrend. So we've got let me clear that out, grab the right tool. We've got support, and if we head down, I think that's probably where we'd likely head down and maybe get a bounce down there or something like that. So 150, 350, somewhere right in there. From where we're at now, that's a drop of 6% or so. And that's on the daily chart. Now you can see the daily is also creating this bearish rising wedge pattern, this big wedge here. So a break of that, and that's signaling the bigger trend trade, which I believe would set us up for a move all the way down to this gap fill right there. All right. So that would be the target on a break of this trend line here on a sell signal. For now, we've just got a short-term sell signal. Maybe that's going to set us up down here. We get a little bounce, then break. All right, so that's what I have on that one. All right, next up, we'll look at gold. For that, I'm going to go to the gold futures. Still kind of consolidating a little bit. The bigger picture, we've got the breakout. So we have downward channel here, nice clean breakout. Pullbacks to support should be bought. All right, we have a breakout, and it is by the dip. This is a by the dip chart. So we got a support level here. We pulled back. So far, the buyers are stepping in, and we'll see if that, maybe that's the low. I don't have a good amount of confidence whether this is the low or if they're going to dip it down and maybe make a new low. At the end of the day, pullbacks to support should be bought. So buy there, buy support there. It should continue to rally over the longer term or medium term, basically. All right, so that's what I have on that one. And I'm seeing signs. Again, you'll see the miners yesterday, they were all selling off. Today, they're kind of being bought. Not super aggressive, but they are definitely being bought. Here's an example, AG. All right, so this one on the daily chart, you've got this trend line right here, and we've got support, support, support. Yesterday, it sold right to support. All right, today, bouncing off that, up 3.5%, still holding trend line support, and it's a bullish trend, so that's it. Also, this is coming off a big bullish divergence on the daily chart. So this trend, from my perspective, is just getting started. I suspect will continue higher. All right, so that's something like that. And the miners in general just continue to look. They look constructive. So I'm a buyer on dips of these miners until something changes technically. Visa gapping down today, but you can see the buyers are stepping in. All right there. So this trend line is on the daily chart, and it's coming off the all-time highs. Resistance, 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 resistance. We broke out just a little bit, but this breakout does have negative divergence here on the daily RSI and PPO. So it's likely going to fail, but maybe not today. So here's the thing. The buyers, we hit that trend line. We dip below it just a little bit, and they've recovered that trend line. And so far, it's not compelling enough to say that we've fallen back below this trend line, and this is a bull trap. I think that will be the ultimate outcome, but maybe there's a bounce first. All right, so at the end of the day, we're at support, and the buyers are holding it. Now, if we do break back below the trend line, then it will tell me that this little whip above this trend line was a bull trap, and we should go a lot lower. All right, that's that on that one. Okay, potential new trade idea here. I don't think I pointed it out, but we did talk about it on the live stream. So guys, if you want to join up on those Saturday live streams, those typically are reserved for members only, and we go through all kinds of stock charts on Saturday for about an hour. Join up. That's another reason that I think that it's well worth the $5 a month. On this one, MDT, we have a bullish falling wedge. All right, this is the daily chart here. So we have a bullish pattern. No buy signal or breakout as of yet. So support is right here on this trend line. 1, 2, 3. We got another reaction there. And we're basically right on it, just kind of treading water the last few days. Earnings is out of the way, so we don't necessarily have earnings risk. And they're just kind of holding that trend line. So it is objective in my mind to buy this thing, to go long right here at support with a stop kind of slightly below it. But it is objective. And then on the other thing on the daily chart, you can see we do have daily bullish divergence. There it is. See, we've got bullish momentum. Momentum is moving higher, not able to make new lower lows, but at the end of the day, trending higher while price is trending lower. That's divergence. And that often signals, it's a leading indicator of price change. So what I'm looking for, it's objective to add here, and then I'd probably want to see a break of this trend line to take a full position, or to add on. So starter position down here, and then maybe add on a break of the trend line. Okay. At the end of the day, if we break this wedge, the projected target is usually something like that. It just depends on when you break, but I would say somewhere right up in there at about, we'll just go right about there at 96, all right? But it just depends on when we actually break the trend line, and that's all I have on that one. Commodities. So a couple things, I'm seeing like things like Rio. This is a iron ore rallying, gapping up today, just pretty much on a straight tear up. This thing's up about 30% since breaking this this bullish falling wedge. And yeah, I mean, it just looks good. So then when I look at some of these commodities, because this is an inflation play here, but some of these commodities, Joe. So we've been on this one. I pointed this out as a trade idea. I believe it was in the private member group only, but at the end of the day, here it is. We've got a bullish falling wedge. We've got bullish divergence on the RSI and the PPO. We have breakout. It happened a couple days ago right here, consolidated for a couple days, and boom, gapping up and continuing on upward today. So at the end of the day, I think this thing's got a lot more upside to go. My first target is somewhere in this range, anywhere from about 53.20 up to 54.80. That's kind of the zone of resistance. As I roll out, I can kind of see that as a key level. So that would be my first target. The 200's kind of pointed down. Maybe they meet up together. I don't know. More upside though on that one. And just up to the target from here is 11% for that first one and about 13%. So I like that so far. And kind of what I'm noticing in these ag commodities is it's kind of like whack-a-mole. One pops up and the others drift down, and then those drift down, and then another one pops up, and it's kind of this whack-a-mole thing going on where you've got money just buying the dip. Basically, they're buying the ones that have sold off and selling the ones that have rallied, and then just rotating. So that's kind of playing into my thesis around these laggards with like wheat and Joe, which is coffee. Cotton's okay. The ones that have kind of fallen down, I'm looking for them to rally. Okay, I've been scanning around for the last 10, 15 minutes looking for anything else. That's really all I got, guys. So if you guys are finding value, drop me a thumbs up, and I will catch you on the next one.